Hey, it's May 25th. This is the trade review. Let's go.
EVA Trades.
My second green day in a row. There it is right there. See the lower wick? Same lower wick that we had. These days look so much alike. Yeah, I started my day in the red and got green from there. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and finally hit my daily goal, but then gave it back, but then hit it again, and then stopped. Let's take a look at the progress. So I'm up 100. Where did it go? I'm up 124.92 on my day. Let's take a look at the trades. Biggest loser of the day, BMR, down $223.63 on that one. I can explain. Yeah, this was the leading gapper of the morning. I tried to trade it back here pre-market. Ended up losing like $18 and just like, I'm not going to do that. So the bell rings, the market opens. Hold on one second. Okay, so yeah, so the bell rings, and as we're pulling back here, I'm trying to jump in this, and green arrows are buying, red arrows I'm selling. That's probably pretty obvious, but I just wanted to mention that. So I'm making a little bit of money first off, and then buying on a breakout up here, and buying in here, and selling, and buying, and buying, and selling. So, I'm making some money on this, okay? So not bad. I was going to say my first trade of the day was a loser, but let's look, where was that? Well, we'll get to it. I guess it wasn't on BMR. I did a lot of quick scalp trading. This one was one that just took a while to get going. I would get in it, but it was whipping around so much, and it just I would be red, then green, then red, then green, and it was like kind of nerve-wracking to trade. So it makes me nervous to hold something whenever it's whipping like that, because it could whip down just as easily as it could whip up. So I just did a bunch of scalp trading, a bunch of ins and outs really quick, but I didn't do very good on it. You can see, like here I made some money on that, probably made some money here. Looks like I bought up here, break even trade there. I bought down here, sold down here for a loss. Bought it here on a breakout. Bears came in, pushed the price down, so I sold it here for a loss. I bought here. I'm trying to buy on this support down here. And we have some lower wicks, so I'm trying to buy this, looking for that move up, but I'm still a little nervous that we might get a flush down to the volume weighted average price. And we did eventually down here. So yeah, I'm buying here, selling for a loss. Finally, it's breaking out. I'm buying, selling. And as we were moving up through here, I was green on the stock. I think I was. Well, I know I was at my daily goal. I was sitting up $120. I don't think I was green on the stock, but I was at 120 bucks. And then we're big green candle, right? Pulls back. I jump in it for the second move up. It doesn't give it to me, and it drops down so quick that I lose $120 just like that. Done. That was disappointing. So I thought I was going to end my day down at zero, and we'll get to that last trade of the day at the end here. But next up is Dish. This one's kind of outside my wheelhouse, but there were a lack of stocks to look at this morning. So I went ahead and, it had news and stuff. And so first thing, I bought the pullback here to the volume weighted average price, sold it here for a small amount of profit. I didn't end up selling it up here. I was holding for a bigger move. I could have held it, and we did get a bigger move. Ended up buying here for the breakout, but it came back against me, and I sold for another loss. Bought here, sold, break even, bought down here on this pullback, looking for a higher low. But it just kept on going down. So I bought here, sold for a loss, bought here, sold for a profit. So I made a little bit of money at the very end, and then I didn't trade it again. I was worried that Dish was going to end up being like KSS yesterday. It's another one of those that I don't typically trade. So that was Dish. JWAC was a wild card. It was a recent IPO from a couple of years ago, but looking like it might do something today, but we never got the volume. I did try taking one trade on it here as we pulled back, and in hindsight, I should have waited for the pullback to the volume weighted average price, but this was green starting to go up, and I thought, well, maybe it's going to go here because we had this little pullback, but I was wrong. Took a $31 loss. Next up, NYDS. Yeah, this one here popped up on the Hive Day Momentum Scanner. I wasn't watching this pre-market, and it was making its move here. It pulls back. I jump in it here for continuation. It doesn't give it to me, so I sell basically break even. Comes down into this area, the EMA back test. I'm buying for that, but it doesn't bounce there. I'm adding to it at this $10 support. That's a pivot area that we broke through. We kind of already back tested it here, but you can always, sometimes back test it a second time. But it didn't bounce from there. It ended up bouncing where? At 980. There's nothing back here at 980. So for whatever reason, it ended up bouncing at $9.80. But I took myself out of the trade here. I lost 58 bucks on that stock. So SOXS, big winner on the day, $361. I was not watching this pre-market. Strike that. I was. Right towards the bell there, I ended up pulling it up. I'm like, yeah, what the heck, I'll watch it. So glad I did. This was my big winner. It sucks that I'm up 361 on the stock and only up 120 on my day. So the first thing for me, I bought the pullback here to the volume weighted average price. After we broke through, it pulls back, and I'm looking for the break through the high of day, which is to 1527-ish. We could draw a line. 1527. We break through the high of day. I actually add as we break through the high of day, and I'm selling up here 2 of my positions. I hold the rest for a bigger move. It pulls back down into here. I ended up selling the rest of it right there. And then I bought here, took a small loss, bought here, took another small loss. But then that's interesting that I bought this breakout here that's buying kind of high, but I bought it twice too, and then sold. So scalp trading this on the way up, kind of getting lucky, I guess, that we moved that high. I'm not really buying pullbacks there. Trying to focus on buying pullbacks more, but this worked. Buying breakouts. Took a loss on this breakout here, sold it right there. Bought the dip down here to this support level. Looks like I made a little bit of money on that. Bought the dip down to the volume weighted average price. Sold it up here. Nice. That was a big, beautiful trade. And then I bought this pullback as we started to break out. Looks like I added to it here. And I sold one of my positions. It could be that I bought it here and then I sold it here and then I bought it here and then I sold up into here. But either way, up $361 on the stock. Looks like mostly buying breakouts. So not what I set out to do today, but I'm not complaining. Did pretty good on that. VRT, bought a breakout here. This popped up on the scan right here. I bought it, sold it real quick, made $8.60. And last but not least, NA, my savior of the day. So this is the one I wanted to get to. That is really bizarre. I know my first trade of the day was a red trade. Let me back up here. Because for some reason, I didn't see it. But I know it was a red trade. It's possible, actually. Oh, yeah. My first trade of the day, BMR. So my first trade of the day was up here. I bought it up here. It comes down and it stops me out. I bought it twice. It stops me out. And I was down $100 on my day. And then I bought it down here as it had pulled back. And then I made some money on it. Got back half of what I lost. I remember that now. So anyways, okay, so after I got caught up in this big drop on BMR, I was up 120 bucks. I got caught in this drop. I gave back that 120. I'm down at 0. And I'm like, man, this is the 3rd time today that I was up at my daily goal and I gave back more than half. I'm supposed to stop when I give back half, but I never technically ever made it to my daily goal. I was always just below 100. Except for this time, I was at my daily goal. I was up 100 and something, and then it back to 0. And then at the very last moment, I was thinking about stopping. NA pops up on the scanner. I pull it up. I look at it, and it looks pretty good. It's doing this right here. It's breaking out above the volume weighted average price. So I jump in it 3 times. It makes its 4 times. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Jesus. That's a little risky. But yeah, and so just like that, I made $124, 113, but that put me up 124 on the day, and I called it quits at that point. So a really wild, crazy ride for me. I mean, I could have actually traded this more. It pulled back to the volume weighted average price. That would have been nice. I'm sure there are many other trades that I could have taken, like this one. I totally missed this. This pullback to the EMA. Where was I when that was happening? I gotta wonder, what was I doing? I'll have to watch the video because that would have been a really nice trade. I don't know how many others I might have missed. JWAC, yeah, but it was light on volume, so it wasn't, because we had this pullback. But I wonder if there's any others. There are any others here. NVDS, SOXS. Well, obviously, pull back to the EMA here. I missed that. I did buy the breakout, but took a loss. So had I bought it down here at the pullback, it would have been a winner. So just things to take note of. Here's a move down to the volume weighted average price. And by this time I was done trading, but nice pullback. I could have jumped in that. And as it moved back up, you sell it. You know, that's a 10-cent move. You know, 1,000 shares, 10 cents, that's $100. VRT, a lot of nice pullbacks on VRT. Of course, I wasn't watching it till up here, but we did pull back close. You know, we didn't really bounce off the EMA here. Didn't quite make it back to the volume weighted average price there. Blew right through it here, but inevitably in the end we bounced, and now here we are back at it again, starting to curl around there. Well, okay, so, you know, there is always improvements to be made. This is why I do these trade reviews, and I just want to get better. That's all. I want to get better for myself. I want to get better so I can show other people how to do this, and we can all get better together. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from this, and we'll see you next time. Tomorrow, one more day left in the week, Friday morning. Be back then. Bye.